Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of The Push with Nick and KP. We are back once again to bring you a weekly recap, this time of Friday Night SmackDown, which took place on July 24th in Oakland, California, just 8 days away from SummerSlam. We kick off the show with Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis in the ring, along with some tables and chairs. What could go wrong? Pearce announcing he's here to make this match at SummerSlam official, then calls down the ring general Gunther. The details are pointed out by Mr. Pierce that Nick signs this contract. When he does, he relinquishes his role as SmackDown GM, and WWE is not responsible for any injuries he may have. Aldous isn't phased and signs immediately, claiming that Gunther made him reach his breaking point. Gunther then acknowledges Nick's accolades, even mentioning his NWA Heavyweight Championship, but says that he never really made it, and that's why he's made Gunther's life miserable since he's come over to the Blue Brand, because he's jealous of the career that he never had but wanted. A brawl ensues, and wouldn't you know it, Gunther ends up powerbombing Aldis through that table. A decent enough segment here. I like kind of Aldis said in the promo here, he has nothing to lose, and so I guess that aspect is very interesting. I don't know in terms of how this will come out of SummerSlam. I don't really know. There really isn't any advantages to Gunther, but it's not the first time he's been in a situation like that. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. But at least this promo was, has me looking forward to the match a little more, and I guess we call that effective. With that, we'll go to the next segment of the evening, which has a backstage promo before our first match of the evening, which is Sammy, who is furious, rightfully so, over how he lost his title and is currently scheduled to be on the bench for SummerSlam. If you don't watch this episode of SmackDown, absolutely go check out this promo by Sammy. He is absolutely spitting facts for free. What comes of it? Pierce announces that there is a fatal four-way match tonight, and the winner of that will face Sami Zayn at SummerSlam in a number one contenders match for that undisputed WWE Championship. So I get, that's better than Sami being on the bench. I think we can definitely say that. Is it really what we wanted? No, we wanted. I think at least I wanted that fatal four way that we could have had from that Saturday night's main event, or even Sami being added to that match would have been great as well. But if we are going to get Finn and Sami out of it, which is who I presumed going to win that announced fatal four way at the end of the night, then I'm all for that. But we'll get into that in just a bit. Our first match of the evening has Brie Bella going 1-1 with Laney Reed. Of course, Paige, Fallon Henley, and JC Jane are all at ringside as well. This is a pretty good contest, honestly. Perhaps a little bit too much offense from Brie, but I could have really used without a roll-up finish for what feels like the 100th time in this rivalry. It feels like they are trying to derail any momentum that Fatal Influence is continuing to get. They had the numbers advantage and still couldn't get the win here in this match. But after the match, the numbers advantage does come back into play. Fatal Influence attacks Brie and Paige, but then we get a returning Nikki Bella finally, who hasn't been seen since before WrestleMania. And this sets up a 6-woman tag match at SummerSlam. A cool moment to have Nikki return here. I would thought maybe she would come back and turn heel, but didn't quite get that at least yet. A cool moment here, but I could have done without another variation of this matchup for the 100th time. Fatal Influence needs to run away from this rivalry as fast as possible. That's just my opinion, but a decent moment for what we got here. Our next match of the evening is the third qualifying match for that interim women's WWE Championship ladder match at SummerSlam, featuring Kiana James and Chelsea Green. This is a nice match, but unfortunately just a little too quick for my liking. However, a surprising outcome here as Chelsea Green hits the Unprettier to join Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill in that ladder match at SummerSlam. The next segment of the evening sees Cody Rhodes come down to the ring to a chorus of boos when his music stops playing, because we also saw that promo earlier from Sammy, didn't we? So it'll be interesting to see how both men are treated heading into SummerSlam compared to Sammy and whomever he ends up facing in that number one contenders match later on tonight. Back to the segment, however, though, we then get the undisputed WWE champion CM Punk make his way down to the ring. This promo is very interesting. I'm not sure if I quite liked it. as much as I should have or could have, but it's a very weird mix of respect, fear, and jealousy all kind of lumped into one. Both men give out some backhanded compliments before they both then tell each other they're going to beat one another, and then egos collide as they both try and have the music played to announce that's whose music will be played after the match on at SummerSlam. So an interesting promo this one was. They're still trying to be friends, but obviously they're both very egotistical, so they want that title. It's strange. I don't know. It feels very forced. But regardless, there were some cool moments in the promo. I just think again, I think a lot of us wanted to see anything else. So probably coming into play here, being a bit biased on who we want to see in this matchup. But regardless, it should be a good contest when we get there. In our next match of the evening, we see the second qualifying match of the night and fourth overall qualifying match for that WWE Interim Women's Championship ladder match at SummerSlam. We see Charlotte going one-on-one with Nia Jax. This, of course, after last week, Nia Jax was caused her opportunity against Jade because of Charlotte. This is another good contest. Both women clearly don't like each other, and they get a little more time than the Chelsea Green Kiana James match. As you might expect, though, Jade Cargill ends up getting involved here. She brings down her baddies, but even they can't get the job done, so Jade has to get involved herself, attacks Charlotte, who then ends up getting the win, and Nia is absolutely furious as she now lost out on a spot in that ladder match twice in as many weeks. Multiple F-bombs from Nia after the match here at ringside, and I can't blame her one bit. Regardless of how, Charlotte will now join her better enemy in Jade along with Tiffany and Chelsea in that ladder match at SummerSlam for the interim WWE Championship match. Nia Jax has to somehow, I assume, get her spot in there as well. I just don't know how they're going to do it. In our main event match, as announced earlier, we get a fatal four-way match to determine who will face Sami Zayn at SummerSlam to determine a new number one contender for the undisputed WWE Championship. This match features Damian Priest, Royce Keys, Finn Balor, and our U.S. champion, Trick Williams. As you might expect, and seems to be a running theme for the show, we get LA Knight, Solo, and the Usos all come into play here, as well as Jacob Fatu, who, because most of these people are involved in a match already at SummerSlam, and then we have a U.S. champion, Trick Williams, in there for funsies. A couple more very predictable interferences, but the silver lining here is that, as probably most of us expected, Finn Balor, the only one that doesn't have something planned for SummerSlam or a title, does end up getting the win here. And I'm going to take that as a big win here overall, because Sami and Finn absolutely have the potential to be match of the night and or weekend. Anything less would be a bit of a disappointment from me. So overall, SmackDown, a decent show. Unfortunately, a lot of predictable things and some creative decisions that were very not creative. But yeah, a couple of decent matches there, and continuing to see the SummerSlam picture kind of come into fruition a little more clear. But overall, definitely a step down. But I feel like the last couple of SmackDowns were a bit better. But again, the 2 hour SmackDowns, it's not as, you don't feel as much of a chore to watch it sometimes if you have an episode that isn't quite what you want. So it's a little easier pill to swallow, I guess, is the point I'm making there. But it is, say, just a notch down. Probably a 6 out of 10. Not terrible, but we've definitely seen better over the last couple weeks, I would say. But enough from us over here at The Push. What did you make of this episode of SmackDown? Any surprises in there for you, or were they all pretty obvious to you as well? Would love to hear from you in the comments below. As always, if you like what we're putting out here, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. And we'll be back shortly with our final week, our go-home shows before SummerSlam, as well as a 400th video. We'll have a special video coming out for that, as well as SummerSlam predictions and reactions. And in the meantime, we are continuing to work on that NXT PLE review project. So lots of things coming here for The Push, so keep an eye out for all of those. But until next time, this has been The Push with Nick and KP. We'll see you soon. Take care.